Okay, here we go again. NXT TakeOver Phoenix this time. This is the one before the Royal Rumble, which is also in Phoenix. It's at the Rumble is at Bank One Ballpark. This was at what was it? Talking Stick Resort Arena. It used to be called America West Arena. That's what I always knew it as. Anyway, starting things off, the first match was the NXT Tag Team Championship match. The Undisputed Era of Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly versus the War Raiders. Bobby Fish came out with them, with Strong and O'Reilly, but that was it. So he kind of just went back. He went to the back after that. They won an award during the pre-show because they did the year-end awards at that. But I think it was Tag Team of the Year, but that didn't really play into it at all. Though right off the bat, right after the bell rang, both Strong and O'Reilly jumped the War Raiders, tried to catch them off guard. They tossed Hansen outside of the ring. War Raiders came back. Rowe actually slammed Hansen off of the ring apron onto the Undisputed Era members. Let's see. Another kind of really big high spot of the match was the War Raiders were starting to come back, being a little more dominant. Hansen went for the suicide dive through the ropes, but the Undisputed Era members dodged, and Hansen just went straight down onto the ring padding. It was a nasty, nasty bump. O'Reilly managed to get a big chop block on Rowe at one point, and they started targeting Rowe's knee. At one point, Rowe tried to get to the tag in Hansen, but the Undisputed Era distracted the ref. Eventually Hansen got in. Rowe hit a hip toss into a knee strike, and that allowed Hansen to get the hot tag. Hansen hit a Bronco Buster on Roderick Strong. The Warriors came in. They hit their pop-up into the power slam for a 2 count. The Undisputed Era hit a superplex top rope knee drop combination for a 2 count. They hit the high-low on Hansen, but he managed to kick out. Hansen got a tag to Rowe, and Hansen fought out a second high-low attempt. That enabled him to tag Rowe. The War Raiders came in, hit a... the War Raiders came in, they hit... Rowe hit a double splash slam powerbomb maneuver on both members of the Undisputed Era, and then they hit O'Reilly with a back suplex into a guillotine leg drop for the 3 count and the victory. The new tag team champions are the War Raiders, and this match was a hell of a match to start things off. It was the perfect match to start things off because that crowd was pumped throughout all of it. The War Raiders had an entrance where they had all these knights in shining armor coming out, which is weird because they're Vikings, but okay. At least that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be modern day Vikings. Anyway, they like I said, the crowd was into the whole match. Everyone was going crazy at that point, so yeah, it worked them up into a good frenzy. Okay, our next match is Riddle Pro versus Kasia Ono. Riddle came out, hit a flying forearm off the ring steps onto Ono. Ono countered a sunset bomb attempt and actually tangled Riddle up in the ring apron in the process. There was a spot where Ono, I think, they were trying to hit a move, and I think Ono accidentally caught Riddle with a back elbow. Ono was sort of spinning, and his back elbow, he literally clocked Riddle really hard and knocked him down. And even Ono was looking like that wasn't supposed to happen. Ono whipped Riddle into the ring steps, into the ring post and into the ring steps like he did a few weeks earlier. Riddle countered a suplex attempt into a sleeper. At this point, Ono started to go after Riddle's bare feet. He stomped on it, and then at another point he actually bit Riddle's toe. Ono went for... he hit a lighter bomb and followed that up with a moonsault and missed. Riddle countered a senton into a sleeper hold. Riddle eventually kind of fought back a bit more, and he hit a sleeper suplex and then just hit several forearm strikes to the back of Ono's head. Ono immediately tapped out. He gave up at that point, and Riddle won the match. A decent enough match, obviously predictable. They're going to be pushing Riddle as the next big thing in NXT. don't know what they're going to do with Ono. Cassius Ono, Chris Hero, has always been talking about he's going to be the next guy to the main roster, even though he really hasn't done anything in NXT except lose. So I don't know exactly what to make of that. Okay, our next match is the North American Championship match, Ricochet versus Johnny Gargano. Right off the bat, Gargano hit a arm drag into a crucifix pin attempt. Ricochet fought out of a tilt-a-whirl and a head scissors attempt from Gargano. At one point, they tumbled outside the ring. Ricochet teased doing the dive over the top rope, but he caught himself, landed on the apron, and then he did a moonsault, but he did a moonsault kind of off of the ring post. He jumped off the side of the ring post and used that as the springboard for the moonsault off the apron. And Gargano countered a Hurricane Rana and dropped Ricochet onto the top turnbuckle. Gargano hit kind of he had Ricochet in kind of a sleeper, and he sort of turned that into a neck breaker. It was a really cool little move there. Let's see, Ricochet hit a Northern Lights suplex and a brain buster. Gargano hit a sit-down powerbomb and locked on a crossface attempt. Gargano came back, hit a top rope Hurricane Rana, but Ricochet landed on his feet. And the look on Gargano's face when that happened was like, holy moly, I can't believe that happened. Ricochet hit a plancha to the outside. He jumped over the ring post completely and didn't touch it at all onto Gargano. Gargano hit a slingshot DDT. He hit a reverse Hurricane Rana onto the outer edge of the ring, and then he hit a slingshot DDT and only got a 2 count out of it. At this point, Gargano started to lose his temper. He peeled up the padding from around the ring, but then he thought better of it and didn't do anything right away. Gargano hit a superplex, hit a super kick after dodging a Phoenix Splash attempt. Ricochet fought back again, locked on a Gargano escape on Gargano. Gargano fought out of that. He then hit a brain buster onto the concrete, and then he rolled Ricochet into the ring and hit the slingshot DDT for the 3 count in the victory. Your new North American champion is Johnny Gargano. And again, this match was amazing. Exactly, it's like you had an amazing match in the first match. You had kind of a break match in the second, but the third one is just as, if not even more amazing. I do have a minor problem with that, but I'll tackle that when we get to it. It's a later problem that we can address. After that, we have the NXT Women's Championship match, Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair. Belair early on was trying to taunt Baszler, pointing out that she's undefeated. Baszler kicked her on the inside of the knee, pinned her in the corner. Baszler tried to taunt Belair, saying that she was overrated. Belair fought back from that. Right off the bat, at one point they were on the outside of the ring. Baszler grabbed hold of Bianca Belair's hair and pulled her face first into the ring post. Just a bit of an explanation as to who Bianca Belair is. Part of her shtick is she has really, really, really long hair that she braids together, and she can actually use it as a whip. It's so long that she can actually just twirl it to this point out that far. So yeah, when I'm saying she's pulling the hair, that's what happens. Belair came back and hit a spear, but Baszler countered a top rope splash, countered a splash attempt with a step up knee. Baszler whipped. Baszler tried a charging attack onto Belair, but Belair hit him with the hair only once though, and admittedly that disappointed me. So part of her shtick is that she does hit you repeatedly with the hair. Actually hit Baszler hard enough to draw a little bit of blood. At one point, Belair hit a move, but Bianca was trying to do something, and Baszler basically shoved her back into the ref. Ref is knocked out. Belair hits her finisher, the KOD, but then Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir interfere. Marina Shafir's wearing a face mask. Did she break her nose at some point? I tried to look it up online. I couldn't find anything. I know that the two have a match that's this Wednesday that they taped before NXT TakeOver began. So I don't know if that happened then or what. But yeah, she had a big, one of those big protective face masks on. They interfered. Baszler locked on the rear naked choke, but Belair fought out of it. Belair tried to get a couple more moves in. Jessamine Duke interfered one more time, and that enabled Shayna Baszler to roll out of a 450 splash attempt and lock on a rear naked choke. A second time, Belair tried twice to fight out of it, but fell back and passed out after that. Shayna Baszler wins. Decent match, not spectacular, unfortunately. Belair has the charisma. A weird thing during the kickoff show, like Sam Roberts was completely running her down. Like, I have no idea what was going on with that. He's like, "Oh, she whips people with her hair. Well, you can't take her seriously." And you know the champion who was hugging kids in the crowd we could take seriously, or the one who, let's see, who else has been NXT champion? I think you had let's see, oh. Yeah, well, Asuka, who acted heelish, but the fans still cheered her. But is that different? Like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, just because she has a bit of a gimmick, that doesn't mean she can't be a good worker. That I have no idea what that was about. Anyway, like I said, it was a decent enough match. Unfortunately, it was a little predictable in that sense. It's like the only one. I mean, unfortunately, like, I think the big drawback to the show is a lot of the matches were pretty predictable. I mean, the only ones that were really up in the air were the tag match and the North American Championship match, and other than that, everything was kind of went to code on that. Okay, and that takes us to our main event of the evening, the NXT Championship match, Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black. The two immediately locked up and started tussling around and actually fell out of the ring. Black fought out of a headlock and attempted a small package. Black was doing his moonsault into the meditation tease, but then Ciampa actually charged into the ring as Black was doing the moonsault, so he actually interrupted it. At this point, Ciampa began to sort of lure Black outside. He whipped. First, Black tried to kick on the outside of the ring, but Ciampa caught it and slung Black into the back of Black's knee into the ring steps. He then whipped Black into the other ring steps. At this point, Black began selling a knee injury. Ciampa locked on a grapevine. Ciampa tangled the knee up and then ropes. Ciampa put on a half crab. He used the announce table as kind of a shin breaker. At one point, Ciampa grabbed a water bottle and was trying to drink it as he sort of taunted Black. And Black wheeled around with a quick roundhouse kick. And it hit the bottle and water sprayed everywhere. And this actually does play in a weird bit later on in the match. Black came back, hit a step up enziguri while Ciampa was on the top rope, and both men tumbled out of the ring. This actually aggravated Black's knee injury. Black hit a jumping knee. Both men hit jumping knees at one point too. Black hit a jumping knee and a suplex. Ciampa hit a fairy tale ending and only got a 2 count out of it. At this point, Ciampa sort of at one point they tumbled out of the ring, and like I said, that water that had been spilled there, Black actually slipped on it. Like I said, I don't know if that was necessarily scripted to happen or not, because it was just kind of oddly convenient that it happened, because that's what enabled Ciampa to his first fairy tale ending. Ciampa would try 3 more fairy tale endings at one point, and Black hit at one point Ciampa snapped. He tore up the ring padding on the outside again. At that point, Black hit his flying double knees off the apron, injuring himself further. Black came back, managed to hit the Black Mass, but he fell down far away enough from Ciampa that by the time Aleister Black had crawled to Ciampa to begin trying to lay over or pin him, Ciampa actually rolled over. It was actually a really cool spot, because you don't see something like that happen usually. Ciampa just basically rolled over onto his stomach. Black tried to go for a black mask a couple more times. At one point, Champa dodged it, went to a roll-up. Black got into the ropes, so Champa modified that into a hangman DDT. Black came back, went for another black mask, but Champa dodged that and hit the fairy tale. At this point, Black's knee was too injured, so Champa hit the fairy tale ending for the 3 count and the victory. Like I said, really, really good match. A little predictable. I mean, it was kind of the problem with most of the show, like I said. But other than that, it was a spectacular match. You got a great storytelling out of this whole thing. I mean, there were points where it did really look like, oh, hey, maybe they might do something different. Maybe they might put the belt back on Black, but that just wasn't to be. Don't know if Aleister Black's going to be in the Rumble tomorrow or not, but could be, maybe. As the show went off the air, Champa was going up the ramp. Gargano came out, and both men held their championships up, and that's how the show went off. I did briefly check Twitter at one point, and there's some pictures of, I think it was Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, and Ricochet also kind of coming out, and some kind of brawl breaking out at some point, so don't know what to make of that. Overall, though, I'm going to give the show an A. Like I said, this was a spectacular show, really. I mean, great matches. I mean, a couple of decent matches, but nothing really terrible or boring or something that made me look at my watch and wish this thing was over. So that's how that goes with that, for those. Now, my one real problem with this is, what are they going to do Mania weekend? I mean, they've kind of been building to Gargano Champa for the championship one more time, but Gargano just won the North American Championship, so does that mean we're not going to get Gargano Champa again? Does that mean Gargano's going to drop the belt maybe before that happens? And if that happens, doesn't that make his championship reign look a little, I don't know, flimsy? I don't know. I mean, when you think of a lot of times when you think of NXT, you tend to think of the long championship reign. You don't think of, oh yeah, here we slapped the belt on this guy for a 2 or 3 week period, and then he's going to lose it. So it would feel a little odd if they did that, especially with the North American Championship, which has only had 3 champions. So, or do they dare do title for title or title unification? Because again, the North American Championship has not been defended that much over the past year. So, could they do something like that? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's not terrible, but like I said, I wanted Gargano Champa for the championship at Mania, or the one Mania weekend. I have no idea where it is. Probably in Brooklyn. But like I said, I don't know how they're going to do that, and I don't know what path they could take that would really help ramp up my excitement. But maybe they can do something with it. So thanks for sticking through that ramble at the end there. Next video up after this is going to be the Royal Rumble recap and review. I just put up the random trade review for ForceWorks. My 39-minute and 30-second long review of ForceWorks. Yeah, so the next video after the Royal Rumble is going to be the Miss Bala review. So see you all next time. Guys, are you tired of me constantly talking only about WWE and NXT? Want to see me expand my wrestling coverage? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. Also, remember, if you like the video, give it a like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.